Hello and welcome to this incredible conclusion of the 2025 European Disc Golf Championships here hosted in Sula, Norway. This is final back nine MPO lead card coverage. However, actually we will be kicking it off on hole 11 rather than hole 10, given this crazy shotgun start format. The organizers, the event staff, they've done everything possible to make this happen, and we here have done everything to bring you this final round coverage. I'm Connor Wood. With me, Andrew Gum.
It indeed has been an incredible event. It's been a ton of fun in the booth with you. Everyone's done a great job. The course has been amazing. Shout out to Daniel Davidson for getting me the Team Finland jersey on the swap.
Heyo.
Get your merch from Wayo on the website there. That's sick stuff.
We take a look at the standings. Niklas is just super hot fire right now, separating from the field. Positions 2 through 5, even 6 out down to 10 is very tight. And these last 9 holes are going to be a determining factor to see who can represent their country on the podium at this EDGC ceremony, coveted and prestigious event happening only every 2 years.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Hole 11 is a par 5, 303 meters or nearly 1,000 feet. It's totally soaked today. We had really heavy rains overnight in the morning, and now this one is impossible to get through without completely ruining your shoes. Every step is just sinking deeper and deeper as you go. But off the tee, you want to crush it. We've been seeing some really nice drives with the guys, putting them up there, near the shelf, and then in some cases going around on the right side to go hunt for the eagle. The more traditional play, standard play, is to go on the left side, get up on the shelf on your second shot, and then try to approach the basket there to get that birdie. There you see the basket perched on that little gentle slope on the left side. Really nice par 5. Not too much stuff in the way. More just about kind of getting the distance here and reading the wind. The wind is very fierce on this section of the course. It's not so bad as it was yesterday, not even close to as bad as yesterday. It has calmed down a fair bit, or a lot, I guess, and it's less gusty, more steady. So they should be able to get a better read. Yesterday it was just kind of throw and hope and pray that something might go your way.
Timo absolutely boomed it in the wind, ended to the left, which may pinch his angle or not, depending on what he's hoping to do on the second. May even open it up if he's getting aggressive. Fritiof, a little bit low out of the hand, couldn't beat that crest that a lot of players want to beat on the first. Kristian is just strange misrelease, gets the green flag, however, but given his prowess off the tee, certainly not what he was looking for. We go now to Niklas.
Yeah, and this is one of those holes that Kristian's been really showing off his power and hunting for it. Niklas with a nice one. He went OB yesterday. This one, nice and safe, center fairway, perfect drive. No problems there. So now Kristian's way back from his game plan. He's been trying to get up there on the right side and then go around again on the right side to hunt for that eagle. This time he's going to be trying to get a big distance shot on his second with his forehand in order to try to save the birdie after being out of position on the first shot. Now he's kind of up there where he wants to be off the drive, typically.
Yeah, and unfortunately found that mounded area will leave him with quite difficult footing. Fritiof as well on the upslope, just looking to pump this one as close to the plateau as he can get it.
Yeah, I like how he really powered through that drive. He saw keeping his chin down and really kind of like following through, very methodical, good timing. Nice swing.
Niklas now playing a pure hyzer, looking to end to the left, even though the fairway moves to the right, just to get into position and find himself in that good spot to be through 2.
Yeah, very safe play.
Timo, biggest drive of the group, now going to the forehand. That's mean. That thing was trucking. Even ending to the right would have gotten him into a really nice spot. Being slapped down where he is. Birdie is still in play, but will be much more demanding for him. We go to Kristian. You mentioned it, Andrew, taking the unorthodox, dangerous power hyzer line over the right. And he just gets a flare skip at the end.
That's out.
Taking him out of bounds, yeah. With the errant tee shot, plus now this OB stroke, this par 5 is eating him up a little bit.
It's definitely starting to compound, isn't it? Bad footing there from Fritiof. Decent result, though. Nothing too harmful.
That's likely just a jump putt or short chip hyzer into the green. Timo's third now. fights with the ceiling and the wind. Similar to Fritiof, gets himself up there within that jump putt or short shot approach distance. Now playing for par.
Sorry, you might have seen that waterfall rushing off the mountain after the heavy rains. Here in the fjords, the landscape is amazing, and you see some really dramatic things. Waterfalls just careening from the sky. It was quite a sight that morning when we came in.
Super overstable disc from Niklas. Hard Anheuser release in the beginning and a quick fight out back to the left. Really nice, impressive display of his versatile skill set and disc selection. Kristian looking to get to the green. He struggled on this hole, and that's going to be an uncomfortable distance looking at the downslope as well. The strokes are adding up for him here. He's just looking to get to hole 12 as soon as possible. We go first, however, to Timo.
This is going to tighten things up a lot in that battle for second place. Timo pitching up there while Kristian's struggling. He still has a lot of work left to do. We're going to have a pretty good sized swing here, most likely. Opportunity, though, for a big highlight from Kuoksa. His putters look good. Again.
Nice.
It's a bogey, but it's nice to finish it on a good note there with a solid putt. Well played there at the end.
That was big for him.
Drops back to 19. Momentarily 2 strokes ahead of Timo Hartmann.
Niklas here for the birdie. Very routine-oriented player. Doesn't take anything for granted.
Nice putt. 6 down for the round.
I really like from Niklas's putting stroke. He's very slow and very deliberate, but in the moment when he needs to generate speed and spin, you see the timing of the kinetic chain in the arm, the elbow, the wrist all come together just at the very end of his putting stroke. It's really smooth.
It's a thing of beauty. Just what a sight. Perfection, really, mechanically.
And just like that, Kuoksa with the bogey, Timo Fritiof with the par, and Niklas gets a stroke back on his lead card competitors here. Hole 12. A stunning top of the world shot, par 3 over the water at 124 meters, although slightly downhill. Plays like less, but in the ripping wind, it might sort of neutralize that distance given. This is almost always a wind that is either left to right or headwind coming off the water, and what you want to do is most often throw an overstable disc on a big hyzer and spike one into the green. That is even the play in calm weather. In this very windy weather, that will benefit them even more to try and throw something overstable, assuming they're comfortable with that distance required. And on this green, another one of the most windy greens of the day, of the course, super exposed. You'll see a lot of people laying up even from circle 1 here on this green if they're not super comfortable with the putt they have remaining.
Yeah, it's such a nice one. Very fun hole to play. Super entertaining to watch. Niklas getting the full flight on that one, fading back, catches some stuff, but is, I believe, safe.
The spotter says,
yeah.
Timo now has the fortune of a wind read from Niklas.
It's a great feeling to get that green flag on this hole because that drop zone is no joke.
Timo with a little bit more of a pure hyzer shape than Niklas, who had that flat flight. That tree really doing its work here, catching both of those drives. And when you fall down, you are right at the edge of the OB line. Both of them, however, fortunate to be inbounds. Very common tree to try and beat on the hyzer. It's exactly where you want your hyzer to swing in. We go now to Fritiof, gets this one flipped up to flat. I like to see that, really erring to the side of caution, and well done to get himself inbounds. An open look from circle 2, maybe circle 2's edge.
Yeah, great power shot to take those trees that you mentioned out of the equation. End up on the back door, but at least it's a pretty much guaranteed safe par.
In calm conditions, I may not like that shot as much, but given today's circumstances, inbounds is paramount. And Kristian with a very similar outcome there, airing it out to the right, making sure you're crossing, getting yourself into a short shot to the green. Kristian now up first, going to a putt here, given these branches and the tree.
Oh, nice little
Fortunate kiss. That was going to leave him another kind of, you know, if we're being honest, a scary putt.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was not a great shot, but the tree gave him some love, and now he's up there with a. That wasn't too brilliant either, as far as approaches go.
Here you can see the wind they're dealing with. For both of those guys, it was a headwind. For Niklas as well here, and that most likely contributes to their hesitancy, their tentative upshots. But you really want to get yourself close on this putt if possible. Timo. Exactly. And these guys, incredible putters, all 4 of them, all of them with some sort of strange look. Maybe Kristian, not really, but absolutely no risk taken here. You can see his shirt ripping from about 5 or 6 meters. Gets lifted immediately. And this is a longer putt than he just had.
Be a pretty big number now. Meltdown there on the green, but as you said, tough conditions, pretty exposed basket. This is where the wind really kind of funnels through the fjords and gives a lot of grief when it's up for these players on the screen.
Solid par by Fritiof. Did everything he needed. That one almost came back out again, but walks away with the double bogey. Timo here tapping in the par. They are now equalized in second place at 17 under. Perhaps the changing of seats, if Kristian can stop the bleeding. 2 holes in a row, he's gone 3 over combined. That's a tough one. This hole, however, hole 13, a difficult birdie, an opportunity for separation though within the card. This par 4 sits at 220 meters. You have this initial tee shot requiring you to throw far and straight, OB lining the right side, and a Mando plane along the left. Players are going to need to throw probably around 130 meters or more to get into the sweet spot, which then allows you to play through this triple Mando under this ceiling. And this tunnel is also no joke. Once again, once you get to this spot, you're facing the lake as we see the drone flying here. It's just a ripping headwind, and having to navigate this height both under the Mando as well as managing the slope downwards of this tunnel, you have to be so precise and so in control with likely a very overstable disc in today's conditions. This hole is just so demanding in every aspect.
Absolutely, wide spectrum of skills required and lots of danger.
Niklas playing the flex. If it can find the late stability, it'll be good, and it does. That camera angle, a little deceptive. He was well in bounds, and that is quite a nice position to be. You might like 5 or 10 meters further, but you take that every time if you could have it.
Yeah, it's turned over a little bit, but tries to fight back. Unfortunately, not an opportune time for the mistake there as he's hunting for that second place position. Another reminder about that merch. Scan the QR code there in the bottom right. That'll help you. Definitely helps us if you're able to do that. We appreciate it. That's out of bounds as well, I believe.
Looks like it. Check in where he plays from. That drop zone at the top is only for the missed Mando. If you go OB to the right, you play it where you crossed. Kristian as well looking to find that late fade.
Yeah, nice overstable disc. Gets him back just in time. Pretty good spot there, kind of just behind the drop zone. Long approach, but at least he's lined up with the gap to get through that triple Mando. You're back here, you got to shape something with the hyzer, and you still have a long way to the pin with a really touchy approach. Timo, similar place. Early. Not great.
Definitely not what you're hoping for after the initial mistake. Kuoksa, this is a really solid spot in terms of distance. He's able to throw a straight shot.
So low.
But you need to crest that hill by like less than a meter for the ideal shot. But especially in the wind, you can get caught up, and there's just so many parts of that shot you need to be so like exactly that height from Niklas. You saw just a bit more than Kristian, but look at the difference it makes here.
Check up, please.
Wow.
Yes.
That is some impressive execution on a super technical shot. Compared to Kristian's, from the hand, not that different. The result, huge, and you see why they're throwing so low to the ground there. Timo going to shape a super high, very overstable forehand flex. Gives it a lot of pop and spin to get around the corner, and check that out. Out of position shot from Timo. That is also really impressive, right up there with Niklas's shot in terms of execution.
Down on a knee in a tough spot. Forehand approach. Coming in hot, and yeah, overdone it. He's gonna get punished with the OB stroke there. Not far from the basket when he takes his meter in, so he should be able to get it in from there, but with the penalty. Another low approach from Kristian. Now that's, what are we seeing here from these kind of players fighting for podium positions? Is the pressure getting to him?
I think it's everything. I think it's the weather. I think it's the nerves. I think it's the expectations and standards they put on themselves. All of these guys are obviously incredible players, and competing at the top level, this level of athlete, they have a high standard, and when they're not quite achieving it, it can become a bit of a spiral.
At least it's making it interesting for us to, you see that really tight race there for second and third. Niklas running away with this at this point. Now it's a mere formality as he walks in his European disc golf title. So we'll keep a close eye on who's going to end up where on that podium.
And a critical bogey save for Timo there, sitting at 16 under now. Fritiof. With that putt going to be securing the double after the initial OB, additionally with that one on the upshot.
Yeah, so everybody really dropping the ball on this one. That's just going to further extend Niklas's lead and make it pretty much insurmountable.
As you mentioned, he's chilling at the moment, but he's fighting for more than just this title, Andy. He is aware and battling for that highest possible event average, rated tournament average. Round 3 threw a wrench in the works a little bit for him, but we see with this point in the tournament, he has 15 strokes in the lead.
The discovery of electricity, the first flight, democracy, splitting the atom, computers, modern medicine, space travel, and of course, the royal line from latitude 64.
Moving on to hole 14. This is a very picturesque par 3. 66 meters, plays more like 80, 85 up the hill. Basket perched there, right on the edge of the cliff drop. So fun to try to get the ace here, and then you hope it doesn't go too long. Otherwise, you got that death putt coming back. If you ROB, you got a 12-meter, roughly 40-foot death putt to consider whether to lay up or make a highlight putt like our man Dennis Augustsson, who's done it twice now. Got to shout him out. That's gangster.
That's pretty cool. I don't know if there were many people who went for that putt twice, let alone made it twice here this weekend. I think a really smart play on this hole would be to just throw it in the basket. But you'll settle with a nice birdie look from Niklas Anttila.
Yep. At this point, he can even lay that up if he decides to, and no sweat. Doesn't need it. Especially with all these guys shooting themselves in the foot there on the last hole. Nice forehand there from Timo. Scary death putt coming, but never a doubt about whether that was going to be in bounds.
I like the forehand hyzer play for that reason. This wind playing left to right on this hole, it just, as long as you get over that tree, you're going to be in bounds pretty much every time.
Yeah, Kuoksa looking to correct that rough patch of holes on the last 3. Bogey double, bogey. He's in good position to at least lay it up for par if he chooses. That almost had a chance to ring it up, it looked like. Came right over the basket. Nice line. Result, a bit scary as we see Kuoksa laying it up. Does a good job of that. Right under the pin.
You will get
thirsty.
off the bogey train with that par tap in.
Okay, I thought he was thirsty for this. It looked like the way he was lining up, but even these layups, you want to be sure you get it right, because the last thing you want to do is mess a layup up, right? That's not good. Oh, and he's running it, and there you see how punishing it can be.
He rolls down the hill on the backside after tapping in his OB stroke. He's going to have to walk back down towards the tee pad, go get his disc. It's also a whole mental thing.
Yeah.
Niklas, though, smooth with it from that right side or left side of the green from the tee pad. You are fading away for the right-handed backhand putt, and
Yeah, and at this point,
solid move by Niklas.
Niklas is doubling up on his closest competitor. Can you believe that?
Incredible. This
Unprecedented, yeah.
4-round event allows that gap, you know, assuming that you can get a certain amount of strokes on the field per round. Having a 4-round compared to a 3 allows you to increase that, but a tournament of this level, there's so many good players here, and this may be a career event for Niklas Anttila in terms of performance and feeling. We continue to hole 15, 212-meter par 4. You have to cross the water on the tee. Anything near this walking path left of frame is where you want to be on the drive. This road on the right side is OB, as well as the water on the left. You're then left with a straight shot into this right to left sloping green. Those EDGC letters, a pretty solid aiming point for the MPO basket tucked away at the back there, as most naturally the hillside will filter your disc to the left. It may look from the top down like a hyzer sort of shape, but those are punished so severely with that left side OB, and particularly the wet short grass today. Things are slippery.
True that. Niklas so kind of slow and methodical with his run up that he never seems to slip much. Kind of like Macbeth-esque in a way, like how the footwork is quite slow and just, yeah, very nice to not slide at all at any point. Good drive there, right in the middle. Another reminder about that merch. Love what you're doing. So cool.
Kristian going with the spike hyzer. That'll be in play a little bit more to the right of where I think you would like to be with that hyzer play, but you saw quite a wide release from him out of the hand. Fritiof looking for the straight gap, keeping this one pretty much on pure hyzer, but actually hops over that little out-of-bounds stretch, gets a shortcut, and he's way up there. That's a very solid spot to be for the birdie attempt.
That was entertaining. I haven't seen that shot kind of... There you see that waterfall I was mentioned in the background. That's a nice sight to see. Crashes in with the hyzer. A little bit short, but should be a pretty easy up and down. Or, if he's feeling it from long range, have a go.
Niklas over the out of bounds on the right, keeps it flying straight. That late fade.
So good. So good. Right there on the green.
You don't see second shots much better than that on this hole.
No, he's right up there next to that Guardian Birch.
Timo might have found something good here if it can sit down in time, but he has too much pace, too much height on that overstable finish to the disc.
Sails out. Now Fritiof has dropped a little bit back from this podium race. I kind of wonder what's going through the heads of these guys, how aware they are of that, what they're playing for, because it seems like they're having a hard time executing and functioning with the pressure. Look at this. Oh, wow. Great to see him going at it there. Kristian's been really displaying some talent this weekend. Of course, we've always known his skill set is just, really there at the top, but executing on a very fine level. And whoa.
That is a nasty putt to not lose a stroke. Obviously, Kristian and Timo tied second. We take another look. just dead flat release right on the strong side of chains.
Whoa.
Nothing but straight flight the entire way.
That's a really nice highlight there for Timo. He's had a few today, including that ace on hole 7. Check that out if you did not. The front 9, very entertaining. Not for that reason alone, but that's the shot of the tournament that we've had, I think. Oh, really?
Looked healthy. It was the right side. It was low dropping in, but the basket just rejects him a little bit. Was it a perfect putt? Probably not. Was it a good putt? It was.
Oh, that's gutting, though, after 2, really brilliant shots to get yourself up there for what for Nico is a pretty much tap-in birdie, and just doesn't collect it. Not that he needs it at this point, so he won't be too upset. But as you mentioned, chasing that highest ever event rating, personal best, and probably out of reach now for the Gannon Burr mark that was set at the Preserve a couple weeks back. But he has played 2, unbelievable rounds, bogey free, both in the 1080s there. 2 of his best rounds of his career, 2 of the top 3 best rounds of his career rating wise. Awesome event. Keeping it clean again today, bogey free, even with a couple putts that could have gone his way and didn't.
Hole 16, a fun and attackable par 3 at only 76 meters and downhill. You have to cross this path cutting diagonally through the screen, otherwise you are in hazard. But once you do, you have a pretty steep drop off behind the green. A lot of players are going to throw something slightly understable on a hyzer flip or slightly overstable on a soft flex. Most importantly, you need to control your nose angle and speed. The most common errors we see here are getting the nose too high or too low, especially with what again is a headwind playing towards the water on this final day.
Forehand, overstable approach disc here from Niklas. Right on line, and it stops nice and slow and checks up for a nice easy birdie.
Textbook from Niklas. We go to Timo. Has a very strong forehand, but has been opting for the backhand line here on 16.
This hole, of course, the site of another sweet highlight that we saw on round 3's coverage, where the Bazooka Man blasted the chains with his Justice. Didn't stay, unfortunately, but check that one out as well if you have not. Pretty good shot there, leave him in circle's edge. Opportunity for birdie, but kind of windy, so can be a difficult putt to execute. His forehand's fading a little bit. Tree slows him down quite nicely, and he's pin high just outside the circle.
And I like the choice for just the pure standstill. Reduce the variables. You don't need the power. You don't need to engage the lower body in the same way on a short hole like this. You just need to get your angles correct. Fritiof kisses that branch and it slows him down, but squeaks his way into inbounds, looking at a putt from about circle 1's edge.
Death putt, though.
Some lovely wildlife enjoying that post-storm conditions.
Yeah, cute mallard ducks there getting a drink. Nice little family. Awesome wildlife here in Norway and nature in general. We've been really blessed to experience this. And
Timo's putter is on fire right now, Andrew. Between the last 2, he is at length just delivering to the chains in really tough putting conditions. He's looking pretty dialed.
He's got his sights set on that podium and making a case for moving up there.
Kristian to match Timo at 17 under now. Keep his share of second place.
No.
It's a complete air ball and total danger for him. Coming back now at an even longer distance.
Decides to lay up, and now Timo's in the driver's seat for spot number 2 here. Flip-flopping from where they came in.
Number 3 is still in play, but number 1 right here. Niklas with another birdie putt.
So good. 8 down with those putts that didn't go in these conditions. I mean, what he did on rounds 1 and 2 was remarkable, but the conditions were calm. Now he's setting the mark up really high, near the double digits in tougher conditions. This is going to be potentially a very highly rated round as well.
OTB is very specific on how they list the disc because they want you to like the disc.
Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
Not just marketing.
It's only the best.
Yeah, OTB is only the best. We appreciate that support. Hole 17, par 3, 86 meters or 282 feet. One of the most deadly greens you'll see in disc golf. One of the most beautiful holes you'll witness as far as aesthetics go. But tough as a player, especially when the conditions are harsh like they were yesterday. We've seen so many viral clips of people just struggling through it. You know, it's quite comical when you try to lay up and that doesn't even work. The updrafts blow you OB, and then you stick it in the chains and that blows right back at you. But right now it's down a fair bit, and we're going to see if these players can do a little better than yesterday on it. Kind of sad that this is going to last time we're going to get to see this hole. So much fun. Big high hyzer.
And super controversial hole, but personally I love it, Andrew. I think it's
too.
challenging. Some might say it's in some ways unfair, but these are the best players in the world. It's a tall order in these conditions, but I'm certainly fine with a shot that requires you to park it to feel you can really go for that small putt at the end. Seeing best players in the world lay up from 8 and more meters is, I think, an interesting dynamic to have on a course. Timo fires 2 straight and will end in what is hazard, so we'll play his lie, but with the additional penalty stroke.
Yeah, it's wildly entertaining. You know, I mean, there is mad skill required, but also, yeah, you know, you're kind of a little bit subject to the fate, you know, the disc golf gods in this case, but also there are things you can do to minimize those risks and potential outcomes. So that's where the skill comes in, and the mental game, you know, the decision-making process and the execution of that game plan. So for me, it's a really great hole, you know, as a spectator, as a fan, as a commentator as well, because it provides wicked drama, doesn't it?
Keeps it exciting. Kristian has had a tough stretch through the last 6 holes, playing them 5 over. This is potentially an opportunity to try and get a birdie, although asks a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely empathize with the heartbreak that might ensue when you get really, you know, tattered by it, but it is what it is. Heart goes out to the folks that are getting abused on it, you know, but you got to enjoy the show, don't you?
You can manage your risk as well. You know, as a player, you can choose to lay up. You can throw something upside down, slide it on up if you want to take the wind out of play. There's a lot of ways that you can try to lock in a par or a single bogey at worst. And I think risk management and decision making is a big part of the sport. Even Niklas, a 5-meter putt, leaving him only 2 or 3 left.
Yeah, doesn't need it. Trying to keep that clean sheet on this round, which would be an even more impressive feat than those first 2 rounds given the conditions. So smart play right there. Kristian does well. Save the bogey. Slipping a bit on the rocks. Tap ins here for bogey. So no separation there in that podium hunt. Niklas further extending his lead at this point. Very well done. Final hole of the European Disc Golf Championships 2025. It's been such a fun time here in the booth. It's been such a wild ride. It's not even the final hole.
We'll end on hole 1.
How does it keep getting me?
Crazy shotgun start. We're not used to it. We're in the rhythm of playing 18.
Yeah,
I think for all these players as well, ending on hole 1 is a strange feeling.
Yeah, I mean, this is technically the final hole, but it's not the final hole, as I made it sound.
Break it down for us.
Well, it's in this case, it's a 135-meter par 3 from the drop zone of the original design of the hole. The structure built up for the tee pad deemed unfit, unsafe in the conditions for the players, and so a decision was made by the local organizing committee and everybody involved to lower it down to the drop zone and make it a par 3. So still a good hole, maybe not as cool optics or exciting flight path, but still great par 3. And Niklas hanging it out on the wide hyzer. Skipping it in, edge of C1. Very nicely done.
Very solid. Everything that you need to do. He's up there. He's safe. He has a birdie putt. We go to Timo to try and lock in that solo second place going into the next and final hole. 1 gives this super high, super spiking, and he too finds himself safe, although at that range on the elevated basket, likely a layup, especially given that he has those strokes now over Kuoksa.
This one getting up to flat and turning a little bit. Can it come back nicely when he needs it to? It does, but he's pretty wide right, a little bit far out. Probably out of birdie range, would you say?
I think also just a layup, considering both of those guys could run that on any given day.
Sure.
Today's circumstances, I don't get the sense that they will.
They don't want
Kristian tied third now, bogeys through the last 2 holes. He's just looking to finish strong and secure that solo third place at a huge tournament. If you watched the previous round's coverage, we know that this would mean a lot to him to try and get the podium here at EDGC 2025.
Yeah, and there you see the effect of this heavy rains that we've seen. Little pond in front of Fritiof as he lays up for his par. Timo also lays it up. He's in good position here. Takes second place at the European Disc Golf Championships, which would be, I would say, by far the best result of his career. So Niklas airball on a putt, goes a little bit long. Not really a problem, but oh, and Kuoksa also airballs wide right. So now we, I guess, really needs this to not lose more distance from Timo for that second place battle, but it's looking like that's going to be all Timo's on second place unless something dramatic can happen here on the very end.
Hole 1 certainly can be a separator, there's no question there.
Oh,
Niklas just gets a strange reaction from the chains there.
yeah, hits it all on the target. Nubs, top, chains. Does not collect the stroke though, and he's gonna have to settle for a bogey. So there goes the bogey free, and he's disappointed about that. But I mean, incredible performance here all the way throughout this tournament.
Here we see the final
Yes.
hole of the 2025 European Disc Golf Championships for today's special round. Hole 1, this 131-meter par 3 downhill, OB lining the left and the right. You can throw anything you want. You can throw a backhand roller, you can throw a backhand air shot, you can throw forehand hyzer, you can throw flex, you can throw hyzer flip. I think a lot of these players will be reaching for their stable discs here in this final windy round, but top priority is get yourself inbounds. If you can get into the circle, that's a bit of a bonus just by the shape and danger of this green. Certainly achievable though by the upper end of players and tee shots. Fun finishing hole given the clubhouse situation. We see Timo to try and lock in his second place finish.
Oh, kicks off that drop zone. Goes into the middle of the fairway. Perfect position. That seems like it's probably gonna lock up that second place position for him. Very well done from Timo.
Fritiof with a really nice looking shape. He beats the trees, he skips on up. Textbook execution of the backhand air shot. You cannot do it much better. And as a result, he will be left with a short birdie putt to end out an incredible tournament performance by him.
Now this is a very important shot for Kristian Kuoksa because Knut van Holland is one stroke, or like he needs this birdie actually to secure that third place at this point, and he's
done it. He has done it.
Yeah,
He's had such a tough round, and
Yeah.
to see him end like that warms my heart a little bit personally. Niklas laying down the roller, gets caught up along the fence line, but looking most likely a par at worst for him.
yeah. I mean, it would have been nice to see a host nation player on that podium. they would have tied for third, but then there would have been a playoff for that third, so that wouldn't have guaranteed necessarily that podium spot. But Kuoksa puts the fate in his own hands and parks that hole with a beautiful forehand shot. Very important moment there for this Team Finland player.
Timo will find himself up against the fence, but at just a short putt left, he can also take a meter towards the basket to reduce that length even further. Niklas here, a simple upshot.
Ooh, almost looks like he was hunting that highlight.
Would be sick. I mean, he has nothing to lose. What a way to walk off the field that could be. But more importantly, gets himself the putt he needs.
There you actually see the applause for the FPO conclusion. We won't spoil that if you haven't seen it, but
also exciting. Comes down to the very end. Timo taking his meter here. And not to take away from these incredible performances in second, third, fourth, fifth place, however they may lie. But Niklas had some incredible statistics. Timo, however, to solidify himself as a top European contender with this putt.
yes,
Germany is on the map now in Europe. Timo Hartmann representing them. What a final round for him. He had the ace, he had the putts, he put together something incredible here in this final day.
yes, so cool to see it. Timo, a very highly rated player, you know, with a lot of expectation. We haven't really seen him kind of perform up to that level in the biggest events yet, but this is a huge statement and a great experience. You know,
And just like that, your 2025 European Disc Golf champion, none other than Niklas Anttila, had the most birdies in the field.
MDG European Disc Golf Championships presented by Latitude 64 winner Niklas Anttila, Finland.
Had the least bogeys in the field, Andrew. Had the best scramble rate, had the best C1 and C2 regulation off the tee. The man was a machine. And speaking with him after the event, he wanted to credit all of the European disc golf scene. He said we're thriving. He feels amazing to be an ambassador and part of it. And he wanted to thank everyone involved, from the players to the organizers to the people at home watching and supporting European disc golf. He said it's the best time ever to be a part of it.
yeah, incredibly dominant performance. Listen in here a little.
Grattis Nicke. Bra spelat. Yes. Thank you, man. Right here? Oh, of course. Good very much.
Yeah, not just an incredible player, but an incredible person. You know, a great role model, great ambassador, as you mentioned. So courteous and respectful, well-spoken. Really, just couldn't be happier for the guy. You got to see Dennis Augustin passing the torch for the next one. And yeah, what an awesome event this was, and what a fun time in the booth with you, Connor. We've had a great time bonding and having fun with these commentary sessions. What do you got to say here in the end?
There's no doubt this was an incredible event. To support this coverage, check out the website, check out the shop with merchant discs. You can like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, to support us above all, join us at the next event at Överas next weekend.
Thank you all. See you there.